SistaChat, come join the fun. Laughing, sharing everyone. Heart to heart, we're never apart. Together we make the best of
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Yahin Kai here.
First Lady Hetty coming to you.
Yes, thank you all for joining us again today. And before we go any further, we want to thank you all for your support, for your text messages, for your likes, shares, comments. We thank you all so much. God bless you.
Yes.
Mama,
So
how's it
yes,
going?
we thank everyone and we appreciate you all for your likes and your comments. Please keep it going. Please visit us on our various platforms. We are on
Yes.
Instagram at SistaChat TV25. That's SistaChat TV25 on Instagram. We're on TikTok at SistaChat TV, and then especially on YouTube. If you want to catch
Yes.
any of our recordings, please visit us at SistaChat TV on YouTube. Like, share, subscribe, and especially comment. Please comment. We love to see
We
your comments.
love to see your comments. And the
Yes.
sister is SISTA
Thank
chat.
you. TV.
CHAT.
TV.
Thank
Very good.
thank you.
Thank you so much. But God bless you all for joining us. And then dear sister, I see Yaberry is back.
By
Yes,
popular
ma'am.
demand,
Yes, ma'am. Hey, you're looking good, sis. I love it. How's
Thank
everything
you.
going on your end? And
Great.
Daddy P.
Great.
We
Yeah,
thank God
so
and the
fun.
kids. And we want to shout out as always to Daddy P and also our executive producer, my love. My heart. God
Oh.
bless you all. We appreciate you. So today,
Mhm.
we have some a huge interesting topic to talk
Okay.
about. How about
Uh-huh.
that? But
Uh-huh.
before we get started, drum roll. We have a birthday that we want to celebrate. We have our Makusi who is
Yes.
celebrating her 70th birthday today. Woo!
70 years
Yes.
young.
We thank God so much for her life, and we
Yes.
thank God for how far he has brought her. And yes, listen, yes, Queen Mary.
All
Yes,
right
ma'am.
now. Let's
Yes.
go.
Happy birthday to my Mary. We pray for long life, for good health, and God's strength from above. So
Yes.
hope you enjoy your 70th birthday to the fullest.
To the fullest.
Period. So today we're going to get started on our topic. Now, today's
Mhm.
topic, ladies and gentlemen,
Mm.
we are not going to say much, but we just going to show you.
Wait, your friend is saying.
Red flags.
Me that's it.
Red flags.
Me
So
that's it.
today's episode is about red flags. This is
Mhm.
for pre and post marriage.
Yes.
Now, before we get into that, I just want to give a clear disclaimer. These are our own personal views.
Our
Okay.
views.
Thank
That's
you.
it.
That's
Yes,
it.
vraiment.
Our own personal views.
Mhm.
And another thing, when we talk about red flags in and of themselves are warning signs, right?
Yeah.
Maybe it's something you have observed in the person you're courting, or even in your spouse. And it's just an opportunity for you to take a pause.
Right.
What is it? Stop, drop, and roll. Is that what it
And
is?
roll. Yes, that's
Roll.
what they taught us in school. Uh-huh.
So stop. You're taking a pause.
Right.
You're going to reflect
Okay.
on the red flag, and
Mhm.
you're going to address the red
Address it
flag.
at the scene of the crime.
Thank you, ma'am. That's all I wanted you to. We are addressing at the scene of the crime.
Period.
Because, Sister, yeah, when we were in high school, for
Mhm.
us millennials,
Millennials.
there,
So, yeah, millennials, no.
no, ma'am. No,
Yes.
ma'am. No, ma'am.
Oh my God.
No,
Why the
ma'am.
hell's that show?
No, no, no.
Me a
Not,
millennial.
you are, we're not,
We're not having that argument here, but Mikacho's to be a millennial. That's the
okay.
yako.
We'll
Mhm.
talk about that. We'll talk about that later. Okay.
Okay. Mhm.
And we'll clarify it for the world. All right. So there was a song from a rapper. Her name was Eve. For those of us who know Eve, and her song
EVE.
said, the chorus of her song said, "Love is blind, and it will take over
It
your
will take
mind."
over your mind.
Okay. And see,
What do you
you,
never say?
I'm telling you. So you will not recognize things, but the red flags
Uh-huh.
need to be addressed as soon as possible. And we're going to talk about those red flags. Now, there are an ocean amount of red flags that we can't touch on it all. So we're just talking a couple of them. But
Right.
before we get to that, Sister, yeah, I have a question I need to throw to you. Last week, we took
Mm-hmm.
some questions. There was one question in particular that we weren't able to address,
Mm-hmm.
and it's only fair that we
Okay.
address it. So we're going to take literally 2 minutes to
Okay.
talk about this question. Now, the question came and it says, how do you tell your mother-in-law that's been living with you for a long time to stop cooking? Just stop.
How do you
And
tell?
it says that as a man, you want to eat your own wife's food,
Yes.
but she's not cooking all the time. So how do you address it?
Okay. Well, I think this is very easy. The
Yes, ma'am.
husband needs to speak with his wife, and the wife needs to speak with her mother. I mean,
Simple.
that's just as simple as
Right.
that.
Right.
Because our in-laws, our mother-in-laws are just our special guests in the house. They're
VIP.
there, so that we can spoil them. They're not there to be in the kitchen cooking. The
Right.
kitchen is yours. The kitchen is the wife's. It's a part of your duty to be
Right.
cooking for your
That's
husband.
your castle.
Period.
That's
And
you.
see, no, 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 no. And you're inviting little issues,
Right.
if you do that. So please speak with your wife.
Simple conversation. So have a conversation with your wife as the in-law. You don't need to be the one addressing that with your in-law because that can
Hmm.
create conflict. So address it with your spouse and have them talk to their parent. And I think that any parent will be
Of
reasonable enough to
course.
understand.
Of
Yeah.
course.
So
Yeah.
all right.
That's
So
it.
that was it. But sister, we're getting to our topic for today. We are talking about these red flags, sister. Red flags that need to be addressed, and we're going to touch on some of them. And so I'm going to throw it out to you to begin
Hmm.
with. And this is about pre-marriage and post-marriage. So, what
Okay.
are some things that some people, some red flags that may be present in a relationship that
Hmm.
need to be addressed at the scene of the crime?
At the scene of the
That
crime.
cannot go
No.
unspoken of,
No.
that cannot be brushed under the rug. Sister, to you.
Because, well, Mama, thank you for that introduction. But these red flags, like there's some red flags that are glaring. Because
Right,
when you get married, things don't just go away;
right.
they get bigger.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things I think is a red flag that needs to be addressed ASAP Rocky is if your spouse or
Girl,
your
who's ASAP Rocky?
is that what I said? Yeah, ASAP Rocky, right then and there. Eh,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You giving me terms I've never. Oh, okay.
baby, ASAP. You are courting, and the guy or the girl lying intro
Compulsive. A
compulsive.
compulsive liar.
The light is green, but one catch you say no, and you're green
It's
already.
not possible. It's
It's
red.
just that they're lying. And some people lie so much that they start believing, and then you start wondering, am I crazy?
You think you're losing your mind? No, seriously. Some people they lie so much that, like you said, they believe their own lies.
Yes, yes.
There
And
was
see,
this one. I'm gonna leave him alone because I remember when I worked at customer service.
girl,
There was a man. He swore up and down like he had all this money. He had all these cars.
oh,
He had
oh.
all these chains. I'm like, but you in customer service with me?
But you in customer service with me.
you know,
Jenny and I, we are broke. We are here.
we living check
Those
by
days,
check.
but $6 and no much.
So yes, a liar.
Yeah.
Now, for ladies and gents,
Mm-hmm.
if you are with someone who cannot tell the truth while you're courting, there's no way you can sit there and say, "Oh, as time passes, it will get
Right.
better."
Right.
No, it won't get better unless you address it. And sister, yeah, these addressing of issues, it's kind of like, like I said, if you go to church, right?
Mm-hmm.
And somebody like rolls their eyes at you and they think you didn't see them roll their eyes at you.
What?
And then you go to the person, it was like, oh, sister, when I saw you, I saw that you rolled your eyes at me. You kind of called them out. You
Yeah.
bringing it to the light. You know,
Bring
like,
it
"Nani
to
ba- kwa nani
address
niye
the
visa?"
issue. That's the thing. You have
Thank
to
you.
communication. You know,
Thank you.
communication. Watch that.
Bringing it to the light.
You can't just act like, oh, that didn't happen. It
Right.
happened, and it's
Right.
only going to get worse. Or if they steal, because you don't think of me so
Sa.
their hands are a problem. I said it in English. Their hands are a problem. What in the number? Now, if yeah, you go to the mall, you didn't see him purchase that. Ubedu can not like it's in the seat. How did it get there?
How
I
did
didn't
that
see you purchase.
happen?
That is a problem. And these are like le-
Thank you. That's it.
legit issues that has to be
Right. It
addressed.
has to be addressed.
Because with them stealing just
Right.
little things and lying to you about it, it's only gonna get bigger. Before you know it, they're stealing what? A car? I mean,
Let's
you
hope
know.
not. Let's hope not. We don't need to be in America's Most Wanted, please. Um, you know, no, but it's true. Like there are certain things that people do that it's like, everyone has a weakness. We're not perfect, but I feel like
Yeah,
some people have some extreme
yeah,
issues that need to
yeah,
be addressed. And
yeah,
when you see it, you can't just say, "Oh, I love the person." Love
yeah.
is not enough to
Yep.
just help someone get out of
Hmm.
certain cycles that won't end.
Yeah.
Lying is one of them. Cheating is another one. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying? And another one I kind of want to throw out there is someone you've been with who is controlling. Like you can't go unless they tell you to go. You
right,
can't talk on the phone unless they allow you to talk on the phone. And then, sometimes with that control, they want to manipulate you,
right.
right?
And not and like controlling, like if they're telling you like, oh, I don't want you talking to this person. Oh, I don't want you wearing this. Because it's gonna give off this impression. I don't want you spending time with your friends. I don't want you spending time with your family. I don't like those. That's even jealousy. You can even put that in jealousy.
Hmm.
Controlling and jealousy, they are sisters.
Right.
And if somebody is showing you those characteristics in the beginning, you need to address it, because
Yes.
it's only going to get worse once you get married and they feel like, oh, this is my wife or this is my husband, like
They don't,
my
right. They can't, you can't be, you're not enough to be able to be with them and then also be able to be with your family members or with your friends,
right.
right? And don't get me wrong, I get the idea that once you get married, of course, there's going to be a limit of how many girl trips and girl
Of
vacations and things
course.
like that you're going to have. But when it's to the extent that they can be with their friends, they
Right.
can go out with their friends, but you're not allowed to go out with your friends, or
Yeah.
you're not allowed to spend time with your family. But it's quite serious, and it's
Yeah.
something that needs to be addressed.
Yeah.
Because if not addressed, it's going to spiral out of control.
Right.
And I always say that marriage is beautiful, but I feel like a lot of the what is that, the snacks or the like the good things that you get in your courting
Hmm.
phase, you don't
Hmm.
usually get all of that in your marriage, right?
No.
Sometimes if you used to get the flowers and all those love cards and stuff, you don't get all of those in marriage.
Mhm.
So it's possible that if it's something that's starting small in your courting phase, it's going to be huge
Of course.
in your marriage.
Of
You know what
course,
I'm
because
saying?
they might become possessive. Like if you don't
Thank you.
address it in the courting phase, to say my warrior, like
Right.
you're mine.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You're on the wall and you're a UBO, and so you
Right.
are mine. Nobody can talk to you. No, you can't look. And it really does happen. There are some people out there who are being controlled. To the
Yeah.
point where you're even confused. Like you don't even. You're scared. You become
You're
scared.
scared. Yes,
You
you are
become
scared.
scared because you don't know what's going to happen. Oh, I'm not supposed to do this. Like, no, that's not
No.
how marriage is supposed to be. Marriage is a beautiful institution. And so, whenever you're courting and somebody's displaying these characteristics,
You
address
got
it.
to stop. Red flag. We got
It's
to
a
talk
red
about
flag.
it. We have
It's
to
a
talk
red
about
flag.
it. We need
And
to address it.
communication is key.
Yeah.
If you can't communicate with that person, that's also a red flag.
Right. Thank you.
If you
If
can't,
you can't
you're
express
scared.
yourself,
Yes.
right, that's a red flag. It's true.
Yes.
But
It
just to add to the control, right? I also feel like some people fall into the category where they also have someone who likes to manipulate them as
mhm.
a form of control, right?
Yeah.
Like I know some people have said in stories past that like they might be with someone who's like, if you love me, then you know you should be able to, you know, should be able to sleep with me before marriage, right?
Hmm.
They try
Yeah.
to manipulate you to do certain things that you know you don't want to do,
Right.
or they make comments like, "Oh, no one's going to love you like I love you.
Yes. Yes.
No one is going to, you know, no one wants you." Like they
Yeah.
try to manipulate you to think, "Thank you, ma'am." It's a red flag.
It's a
And
red
those
flag.
red flags, let me tell you something. If you, there are certain things that, and we're going to talk about some red flags that you have to use biblical tenses and flee.
And flip.
Okay. Thank you,
Bye.
man. Bye.
Right.
We gotta go.
Uh-huh.
You
Yeah.
have to flee,
Hmm.
right? But if you're with someone who is, and you can clearly say see that they're trying to manipulate you, and you've talked to the person, and you're not married to them, then
Yeah.
that may be an opportunity for you to step back,
Hmm.
right? And
Yeah.
maybe allow God to direct you to the person who you need to be with,
Right.
because manipulation is a dangerous thing,
It's
right?
just it should be a crime. It should be one of those things
It should
that's
be, yeah, you
punishable.
should be prosecuted for it.
What to the fullest extent of the law, because some people will try to manipulate you to the point where you start questioning your
Right,
mental health. Like, am I
right,
am I seeing this correctly? Why am
right.
I thinking, that it's supposed to be this way, but they're saying it's that way? Am I crazy? No. If
Right.
you're starting to question your mental stability, you got to step back.
You got to step back. And you got to,
You
and
got to
like you
step back.
said, like, don't allow the love to blind you so much to the extent that you're afraid to address certain things.
Yeah.
If you don't address it now, they are only going to get worse. So
Yes.
for my loved ones who are in your courting phase or in your, you know, you're almost to the place when you're going to get married, you have to open your eyes,
Yeah.
right? Don't be so infatuated with the wedding day and your
Right.
wedding dress and all
Right.
the people who are coming. You need to open your eyes and really ask yourself that, no, don't get me wrong, no one's perfect, right?
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
are there certain things that I've seen in my spouse to be that if not addressed as soon as possible, it
Hmm.
may become something that will bring us harm and we won't
Yeah.
be able to enjoy our marriage.
Yeah.
So yes, manipulation is one of those that we
Hmm.
need to talk about.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Manipulation, mama. And this one, I cheating, right? You're courting,
right.
right? And they cheat while you're courting.
Yeah.
Me, I feel like that's just God's way of just opening that little window right there so you can just fully
Go ahead and crawl out.
go. Because I don't, I mean, listen, to each his own,
Yeah.
but I feel like in a marriage, I don't even care if you got $1 million or if it's a millionaire that you're marrying.
Yeah.
If you can't trust the person and
Trust is important.
and you don't have like that peace, bye. I
That's it.
mean, there's just nothing else. If he shows you during courting,
Yeah.
goes out and cheats, girl, bye. It's not even red flag, they're your red carpets. He's showing you the red carpets to leave. Go, go. One more red carpets.
Yeah.
Girl, bye. I'm out.
I mean, and what you said is true. Like when you're courting with someone, that trust phase is where you're trying to build. I mean, that courting phase
Yeah.
is where you're trying to build your trust, right?
Yeah. Hmm.
And if they have, like, cheating is the ultimate betrayal. Okay.
Um, ultimate betrayal two come on.
Okay. Well, there's another
Boxing.
one, but one up.
Boxing.
Let me say
It's
that
one
one
up.
up.
Yeah.
Because you know, and for you to have done that during your courting phase, it's a huge thing, right?
Hmm.
Now, like
Hmm.
you said, there may be someone who was in a situation where they were courting their significant other, or their, you know, their spouse to be or wife to be did do that. And they've moved on to getting married. We're not saying that. I mean, everyone, like you said, to each his own. Everyone has the level of tolerance And people are entitled to make mistakes. No one's
Mhm.
perfect, right?
Mhm.
If you're able to forgive the person, you're able to move forward. That's a beautiful thing.
Mhm.
But it is something that needs to be addressed.
Yeah.
It is something that needs to be addressed in full. Like there's no room for misinterpretation. Your view of whatever happened and the other person's view of why it happened needs to be clearly stated and clearly resolved. Because what you don't want to do is allow certain things in your courtship
Uh-huh.
to go and find their way in your marriage as
Right.
something that's acceptable, because it's not acceptable, right? So you
Right.
have to talk about these things, have real genuine conversations. My whole thing is this: if you bringing up an issue with your spouse will make you feel like, or may lead to you potentially losing the person, then they weren't
Mhm.
yours to begin with.
To begin with.
They
But
weren't
I
yours to
heard
begin
you
with.
say, for them to sit down, discuss it, and figure out the why and how they're going to move. I don't know that you can move forward from that in the courting stage.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Some
Mhm.
people are able to move forward from it because, I mean, maybe it was an honest mistake. Maybe the person was immature. Maybe the person has realized their faults, and maybe they've decided. I mean, you have mutually decided that you have forgiven the person and
Mhm.
you're willing to move on. To each its own. I
Mhm.
may not be able to do that. Sister Ya has made it clear that she's not doing it, but maybe you
No.
maybe you are able to. It
Mhm.
doesn't mean that your marriage is doomed if you find yourself in that situation, but it is a conversation that needs to be had, is a situation that needs to be dealt with. We
Yeah.
cannot brush it under the rug. We cannot say, I'm sorry, I won't do it again, and leave it at that. But we have
Mhm.
to really have a serious discussion about that, because red flags that go into your marriage, like cheating, are dangerous.
I
It has not
mean,
only an effect on you mentally and
I don't
emotionally, but
know.
even your health. You don't know what
Yeah.
someone is bringing into your
Right.
home. And we will
Right.
not tolerate that at all.
Absolutely not.
So, with that being said, if you're able to, if you find yourself in a situation where you were able to move on, let's just make sure that we've fully addressed it,
Hmm.
right? And we're not going back. We're not allowing or accepting it in our marriage, right?
Uh, I mean, listen, like you know how I feel about it.
We are fully aware.
You know how I feel about it
We are
because
fully
I
aware of,
just don't know
yeah. And that's what each his
in
own. Like
courting.
there's some people who won't, and like I get it. Like I'm not someone
Because you
who,
don't just end up in somebody's bed like this person.
yeah, that's
You
a
know what I'm
lot.
saying?
That's a lot.
That's a
But I
lot.
mean,
And making sure that mentally,
mhm.
like you're okay, because there's gonna be so many challenges that you're gonna face in
Marriage
marriage.
is, yeah, marriage is a lot. It's a
Oh
lot of ups and downs, but
yeah. So
you don't
if
need to
if we
add.
have this
And
and
it's huge. Yeah,
it's huge,
it's
because
huge.
when if anything happens, your mind, it's gonna be a trigger.
Right.
Oh, now he's not coming home from work at 5 o'clock.
Right.
He's coming at 8 every day. I'm working overtime. Won't call out your overtime with Yasin.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Then your mind, like that peace
Your
that you're
mind
supposed to
starts playing
have.
tricks on. It's true. I
Yeah.
mean, you have to know it's not going to be easy. It's
Yeah.
not going to be one of those, wiping the slate white and it's gone. It's going to be, you're going to, and the enemy is very crafty. So
Oh
you'll
yeah.
have instances where you'll just have a flashback, or you'll
Right.
have like certain habits that were done before. And because of that, it's like you think it's going to happen again. So it happens like that, but
Yeah.
it's going to take a lot of work. But it
And,
is a red flag that needs to be addressed. Don't just let it, I'm sorry, be enough. We need to
yeah.
address this,
We
and it
need
may
to.
even take you starting from square zero. We're starting from scratch, so
So when we're starting from scratch, you're single, I'm single.
thank you. And we'll
What
just
I
have to
said.
see what happens.
Yeah. So
We'll
what?
have to
Now
see
my
what
worry,
happens.
yeah. My worry.
I mean, you
Oh.
had your chance, okay? You
Because
had
I
your
know some people, like some people may feel like, yeah, I'm getting older. I need to get married. I don't want to stop here and then
yeah,
have to
and
find
start all
somebody
over
else.
again.
You know what I'm saying? So they just kind of they'll just gloss over it. Like,
Yeah. We
everything will
don't
be
need
okay.
to, I don't believe that we need to settle. I don't think God
Yeah.
has created us just to settle for any and anyone. ever in anyone, but we need
Yeah.
to choose the right partners, lifelong
Yep.
partners that
Lifelong.
we'll be able to enjoy marriage with.
Yep.
So that glory in marriage will be shown. So
Yep.
cheating is one of them. Now,
Mm.
sister, yeah, there's a big one that I know is on your heart, and we only got about 5 to 6 minutes to talk about it because it's going to continue on the next episode.
Okay.
So,
Hmm.
red
Abuse.
flags, red flag.
Red carpet.
You're so silly.
Abuse. And there's so many different, you know, there's so many different ways that
Yeah,
people get abused
yeah.
in their marriage. It's not just the physical, but there's sexual abuse,
Hmm.
financial, uh,
Mm.
mental. Just like,
Psychological.
oh,
BBAB.
oh, be baby.
Yeah.
And like with the physical abuse, it could just start with, a little, playful punch or what, you're kind of saying
Play fight. You want to play
play
fight with the
fight.
person, right?
Back in the day, when you're kids and stuff and you're
Yeah,
play fighting,
yeah,
that's just him getting ready for that little uppercut.
right.
You know what I'm saying? We should not, like that right there,
And
should
that
never
is
be
a
accepted.
that is one of those retreat. We're going to the Bible scripture. Flee. We got to go.
Please, you
It's
gotta go because
no.
the Nigerian singer, I forgot her name.
Mm,
Her husband, she was married to this man for
yeah,
years, and
yeah,
she kept praying and praying and praying so God
yeah,
would change him. She ended up dead.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Abuse
And
is a
left her
no go.
kids.
Yeah,
And
and
see, hmm
and for me, when it comes to like abuse, and like you're saying, it can start something very trivial, right? Maybe they might grab you,
hmm
grab your arm in a disagreement, or they might, maybe, you said something and they, how like your mom goes, not wow,
well, watch it, yeah.
huh, well, I know. You know what I'm saying? And those
Yeah.
things, people may feel like it's trivial, but those things, those are red flags. Just highlighting, like, don't go, don't do.
That's
And I
it.
feel like you're saying, so many people, when it comes to the abuse, the other things that we've talked about kind of play a role. The manipulation,
Yes.
I'm sorry, I won't ever do it again. You
Right.
should have never done it the first time.
To begin with.
Right. So for me, abuse, and I remember when I got married, one thing that Papa, he if he
Oh,
didn't say
rest in
nothing, me nah, nah, Papa.
peace.
Oh, I just say
Oh, just
one thing he said was that our spouses should never, and I think, and I want to throw that to any and everyone, as a wife or a husband, your spouse should never,
ever.
ever be allowed to put their hands on you. It is not okay. And it goes both ways, because some women be
Yeah.
slapping their,
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
Girl be
they're,
popping
they're,
in in the
yeah, and it goes
yes.
both ways, but that is a no-go. And that is a red flag that, honestly, for me, I feel like, don't don't see it as something you can brush under the rug, or a simple
Mm-mm.
sorry can is enough.
Yeah.
That might be your opportunity to be like, you know what? We
Yeah.
may not need to be together. This may not be the person for me.
Right.
Because if abuse, like those small little nudge and punches here and there, those things can end up with you being in the hospital, with
Oh.
you, being
Yep.
almost to death, by
Yep.
you being abused in front of your children. And
Mm-hmm.
that is a no-go,
Yep.
you
Yep.
know?
And just like you're saying with the little nudges and stuff,
Yeah.
when you're courting and this stuff is happening, like you're just building your foundation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So if you don't address it, I don't even know how you even address this. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, nisahano,
How do you
be it the
address it?
wife or the husband. No, I mean, like, address it like, okay, I don't want you hitting me, and
No,
then
ma'am.
just keep. No, no, no. You bye.
Thank
There's
you. That's
no
we
addressing.
don't need to talk. What are we
Call,
talking
call.
about? No, no,
What did
no,
I
no, no,
say?
no. I am removing myself from this situation. It is unhealthy.
For
And you
my
know what?
for my safety.
For your safety, yes. And you know what? Someone the there's a saying that people will treat you the way you
Oh.
allow them to treat you,
Hmm.
right? And if you allow someone to just
Yep.
get
Make you a
by.
punching bag.
Right, get by with
Punching
a
bag.
simple sorry, then they're going
Yep.
to continue. So that's why, like you were saying, it's not something that you can say, oh, maybe as a person we go into marriage, it's going to stop. It might actually get worse, you know.
Worse.
And
Worse.
those type of red flags, those are not type of red flags that you need to resolve by yourself. You need to get a trusted third party involved
Mm-hmm.
as soon as possible. As much as you love that person, you want that person to do better and you
Mm-hmm.
want that person to be better. And so you have to get a third person involved so that you're not trying to handle it by yourself, because that is
Are
not
you
a big.
talking during, is this a recording, or you're
We're
talking saying,
courting.
yeah, it sneaks itself into the
We're
marriage?
court if we're courting or if
Well,
it
I
sneaks
don't need no
itself.
third party to be involved anywhere, because at this point, Tanisha,
Well, no, because sister, yeah, I'm gonna say.
baby
The
mama.
thing is, though, when you're courting somebody, right? You
Mm-hmm.
really love the person. You've seen a future with this person. That's why you guys are courting, right?
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it's easier said than done, just to just wipe your hands and say bye, right? So
Right.
what I'm saying is that in the case you find yourself in that situation, um, in the case you find yourself in that situation, don't try to handle it by yourself. Get a third party involved,
I
because
do.
the third party might help you remove yourself from that relationship,
Mhm.
instead of you trying to do it for yourself, because we talked about manipulation. The person may try to manipulate you to think they'll never do it again.
Okay.
You see what I'm
No,
saying?
I mean, I can see that, but I
Yeah.
mean, I was just saying, said, if I have a third party, I'm being abused, and I bring a third party to kind of help us to resolve. There's nothing to resolve. Oh,
Not a resolve, but
yeah,
a person to help you get out of that
to
situation,
leave.
because
Okay.
that's a dangerous situation, and
Yeah.
we've only gotten up to physical abuse. We haven't even gotten to the rest, and our
No.
time is almost up. So, like, abuse is a huge topic, and we're going to continue
Huge.
this, Sister,
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
next episode. Right now, we've
We
touched
have
on.
to.
We have to,
We
because
have
there
to.
are certain things we will tolerate and certain things we will not tolerate.
Right.
I
Because
will not
these
tolerate.
can all make, like, bring such big issues into your marriage. And you know
Absolutely.
what? I as marriage is just so beautiful. Everybody should experience it. Everybody should experience the peace that comes with it, the genuine love,
Right.
and the trust, and the foundation. It's just like building a house. I mean, we all
Right.
know this terminology. It's just like building a house. If you
Right.
have a shaky foundation, building a house, there's always going to boom, and it's
Right.
always going to cause you problems. And who wants to be in a relationship that's just full of issues, that's just
Right.
toxic? We
Right.
want happiness. We want
Healthy,
happiness in our marriages, healthy,
healthy
beautiful
marriages
relationships. Yes.
that make us better versions of ourselves.
Oh,
And so if these red flags come popping up, we will not close our eyes to them, but we are going
Debbie,
to address them. And if we have to remove ourselves from an unhealthy relationship, we're going to do that for our own
bye.
well-being.
Because
Thank you. So I think this is a good place for us to pause,
okay.
because this isn't a foot stop, this is a comma. So we're
Uh-huh.
pause, and we're going to continue with
Yes.
the red flags
Hmm.
next episode. Address it at the scene of the crime.
At the scene of the crime, like,
So until next time,
until next time,
be
don't
blessed.
forget to like, share,
Share.
comment, subscribe, do it all. Send it to your
Yes.
friends. You know what
Yes.
I'm saying? Because we're trying to grow this community, and we
That's right.
thank everybody so much.
Thank you. So join the chat next 2 weeks as we
Mhm.
continue on red flags.
Thank
All
you.
right. Until then, be blessed.
It's that chat, come join the fun. Laughing, sharing everyone. Heart to heart, but never apart. Together we make the best of us.